Hey everyone, so I wanted to talk about why I stopped making all the kinds of videos that I used to make at the time, maybe like a couple of years ago. And at the end of this video, I have a little announcement to make. But yeah, so how do I want to start this? Basically, I'd just say there's a good number of you, maybe like a couple thousand, who were here back when this stuff was going on, and you might know what I'm like referencing or have an idea and stuff. But yeah, long story short, I had a friendship with someone who I was trying to work with, which I know to many people is a recipe for disaster and all that. But I was like more naive when it came to these kind of things, if that makes sense back then. I was just in a position where I was convinced that this person was like, a very close friend of mine and cared about me and all of this stuff, yada yada. And we basically had this like falling out where I don't know if falling out is the right word because I don't really use that word much, but they just kind of betrayed me in a way that was just unforgivable. So I removed myself from them because I was kind of like not under the halo effect per se, but I just didn't it was like rose tinted glasses. I'd rather use that because I knew that person had flaws. I always recognize like people's flaws, but like back then I didn't have a concept of abuse. I was figuring it out around that time, like 2 3 years ago, but I didn't really have like a good concept of it in general because of some stuff in my personal life, which one day I'll talk about who I used to be, the altruist and stuff, to who I am now. But yeah, so with all that being said, this person just, I went to go see them, and that was the first time I met them in person. Like, we will always Skype and talk online and stuff. But when I actually met them in person, they were kind of just like tired of me in a sense. Again, it's complicated, but they just really they didn't like what I was about. As I've said to people before, I'm like an intense person because I talk about stuff that people don't like to talk about. Like, I've figured it out now. People don't like talking about, you look at forums and the number one rule is like, don't talk about politics or religion or morality, keep it positive. And it's like, oh, don't talk about the stuff that affects humanity and it affects all of our lives and try to find ways to improve it. Don't do that to be positive. That sounds kind of dumb. So people honestly don't like it though. So when you're like befriending these fake people who pretend like they're like you and they pretend like they care about the same things that you do, they just kind of mirror what you do. So I see through that stuff now. I recognize the warning signs and stuff, but at the time I didn't. So I was friends with this person and we had made a lot of plans together, like to get like a studio apartment and like work together as like business partners. It was a whole thing. And because I wasn't productive fast enough for them, they didn't want to continue that plan. And it's funny to say because I was the only one doing all the work. I did everything. They did absolutely nothing. And I've encountered people like this in my life multiple times now, but they're like one of the only ones who ever got through that little like barrier of stranger versus friend because we were friends first and then they tried to do that. So everybody else, like what I'm saying is like I've had many people come up to me in my life, see what kind of like creative talents I have, and then they're like, oh, let me help you with a logo, let me help you start like a business, let me help you with this and that and blah blah blah, let me invest in you. And they're like average everyday people. They don't work in business, they don't work in anything to do a business, but they see someone with talent, so they want to like hop on that, coattail, so that when you are successful they can like leech off of you. So a lot of those people I would just turn away because it was just obvious from the start. But this person, again, they were my friend first, and then they saw how creative I was with like art, which you all have only seen like a fraction of because I haven't been drawing nearly as much as I used to growing up. Like, I used to draw all the time and I stopped doing animations, and I also make things like jewelry and sculpt and stuff, which none of you really get to see. I made like one video on it. It's like one of my first videos on YouTube. That's all that you've ever really had a chance to see. And the reason why I stopped pursuing a lot of that stuff is because when I had this falling out with this person, they just kind of made me feel like useless in that regard, but I'll get into that in a minute. I don't want to go too far away from what I was saying. So I've had people come into my life trying to like use me, pretend to be there for me, and then like, but it's really just to stick around, so I help them or something. Because I did used to be an altruist, so I used to be that kind of person where if I was somebody who was successful, I'd just be giving shit away to people. So, and I mean a genuine altruist. I'm still trying to find a way to do that video. Like, I really want to make a video about altruism versus faux altruism. Because I'm telling you, like, I hate fake altruists. Like, I hate them more than altruists because they're the ones who make all altruists seem slimy and manipulative and stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Like, people have a martyr complex. That's you having a martyr complex. It's not the same as being an altruist. But I'm still trying to find a way how to tackle that subject in a very, like, constructive way. But most of the time when you meet people who people who say that they're altruistic are either completely oblivious, which is very unlikely, or people who are just pretending. And they're like, oh, woe is me. I just give my heart out to everyone, which are the martyr complex people. If you're an altruist, most likely you have no idea. And you're not going to call yourself one. You're not going to see it as a good thing. Prime example with me. Growing up, when I used to look at people like Toru on TV and stuff from Fruits Basket, I was like, who acts like this? Like, this person is so annoying. It's so unrealistic. And I had no idea that I was being the biggest hypocrite at the time saying that. I had no idea. And once you recognize it, you should feel disgusted. Because you should recognize that it's not a good thing to just give to people, or it's not a good thing to just always try to see things from someone else's perspective, like give them the benefit of the doubt and stuff, because that's going to hurt you and it's going to hurt the people around that person, and it enables them and all this bad stuff. It's a very bad thing to do. Like, being an altruist is a terrible thing. So for you to be proud of it and stuff, you're a horrible person, or you got a martyr complex, which is even worse because now you're just like this, you know, attention-seeking liar. Anyway, so, you know, victim complex, professional victim, all that. But I need to make a video on that, and I just don't know how I'm going to tackle that. But my point is, I used to be an altruist, and I really did not, like, people could have easily have taken advantage of me if I had my business, like, take off and stuff, like with selling jewelry and all that. People would have taken advantage of me all day long. It won't be happening now because I'm self-aware now, and I wasn't before. So there was like something that was like a catalyst to start that. But moving on from all that, with this person, that was like the last friendship I had before I became self-aware. I was getting there in that friendship, but I hadn't gotten there until it like ended, or like nearing the end. So yeah, like I said, they didn't do anything. They would always have an excuse for why they were too busy to work on a script with me for my animations, or why they were too busy to do this or help me with this or that. Help me to animate because they also drew, and they never helped me. And it went on for like a year or so, maybe 2 years. Like, they just kept being too busy for the important stuff. I would do the work, and then they would say that they'd come in later. So I'm sitting here being manipulated, thinking this is like a partnership, when it's really just me doing it by myself, and I don't need this person. I should just do it on my own. But I was convinced that I needed their help to be productive. Now that had to do with like how I grew up, and like being forced to be dependent on people, not being allowed to be my own person, and all this other stuff that is another story for another day. And they pretty much tried to capitalize off of that. So going forward, like meeting this person, when I actually met them, everything was fine. We were supposed to meet for I think 7 days. I might have that wrong, maybe it was 6. But it was at least 6 days I was supposed to be living with them out of my state. And we cut the trip short. I said that so wrong. We cut the trip short on the 4th day. I think it was the 4th morning, or it was technically the 5th morning, and we just finished the 4th day, where I got called into their dining room and got thrown into a 4-way conversation where 3 people were on one person, me. This person was like talking to their parent and some other person who I never met before, who came by that day to shake my hand and introduce themselves. And it was just like this 3-way interrogation where I just kept getting falsely accused of a bunch of stuff that I never did, which was just, again, it's like a whole story that this video is not about. I don't really want to go into details about it, but long story short, it was like a 2-hour conversation or something. A conversation is a bad word to use. But it went on for like 2, maybe 3 hours. Yeah, it went on for like 2 or 3 hours. And we were talking until like, it started at 2 a.m. in the morning, I think. Yeah, and then it ended 4 or 5 a.m. And then that's when I was like, I'm leaving, because I couldn't take it. So basically what happened was, I know that when you say, oh, someone falsely accused me of a bunch of stuff, they really did. And I can go into like all the details and stuff, but that would take me like a good 2-3 hours to explain. But some of the things that I was just accused of was like telling them, like making fun of them when I wasn't. For example, we were like trying to sell stuff together, and it was such a disorganized venue or whatever that no one even knew when they could start selling their stuff. By the time we figured it out, we only had 15 minutes left. So no one was looking at any of the things because they thought, oh, it's not time to like shop yet. So we only had 15 minutes. And then after that, like a lot of people keep saying, oh, that's for kids. Some of the stuff they were thinking is for kids. You can wear whatever you want. It's not about, is it for kids or not? Do you want to wear it? Then you can wear it, you know? So that was like another factor. But it was just so disorganized that we only had like 3 or 4 people look at our table within those 15 minutes. And people thought we were going to be able to sell stuff after the event. And no, everybody was going home. It just was objectively really disorganized. Even like this person's parent knew this. And at the end of it, their family member was trying to help them make a sale. Like, hey, come buy this. Look at this. Isn't this pretty? So the other family member was like, oh, that person trying to help them out. And they were like, yup. That was it. That was the whole joke. It was such a simple, like, innocent thing. So I didn't repeat the joke to a friend, but I was just harping on the fact that it was so disorganized. Like, that's why they made the joke, because it was so disorganized. So I repeated not the exact same joke, but I just relayed the fact that the event was disorganized and that they needed help just to make a sale, because that's how disorganized it was. That was the context of the joke. And they twisted my words and said that I said they could never make any sales. It's like, how am I making that point about you when I didn't make any sales? I'd be making fun of myself at that. It doesn't even make sense. And I'm saying the same thing that your family member said. And so I'm telling their parent, you can ask this family member, they were there. And they, at that point, they already understood where I was coming from. And everything just kept going in that direction where they would falsely accuse me of something. And I would explain myself. And the other thing is, they got caught in a lie at one point. They got caught in a lie because they were lying to their family, saying one thing, and then they were lying to me, claiming another. And then there was a moment where I made a claim that completely contradicted what they said behind my back, because they were talking behind my back this whole trip to their family to turn them against me, which I had no idea. I'm sleeping in your house. I don't even know you having all these secret conversations about me behind my back. So at one point the parent was just like, oh really, is that so? And looking at them like, you never told me that, which completely changed the entire argument. It showed them for the fraud that they really were. And there was just a bunch of moments like that where this person honestly was trying to defame my character. And it got to the point where when I was leaving, they were asking me to stay because it was complete and utter betrayal. And like after going through that situation, it really messed me up in the head because I just didn't see it coming at all. It's like I knew that they had problems, but because I wasn't looking at those red flags and stuff, I just didn't see it coming. Like I didn't know, because I didn't question their character based off of their actions. I didn't think that they were actually going to do something like that. Invite me to their house and talk about me behind my back and turn people who I don't even know against me at 2 a.m. in the morning to do a 3-way interrogation. They were expecting to defame my character and kick me out. Like I wasn't even offered a seat at the beginning of this so-called conversation. And after I cleared my name against some false accusations from them like trying to eavesdrop, but they didn't hear what I was talking about. After I cleared my name, the parent actually offered me a seat because they could see that I meant no harm. I didn't do anything. You know, I was getting accused of like cursing about them behind their back and stuff, and I'm like, I never even brought you up to my friends. I can call them right now. You can talk to them yourself. I don't have to say anything to them. Like I never said anything about you. I haven't had any problems with you. And they're like, no, I don't want to talk to them. I never talked about those people. I was completely appreciative of being in their house because I don't have like people who do a lot of things for me. So it was just so wrong. Just cutting in to give you one more example of sabotage that happened while I was on this trip. So like after the first day, even on the first day, this person was like saying I don't need to hover around them. In front of the parent, they said it once. But also we were having a bunch of like private conversations where they kept telling me to give them space and to give their parent space, saying that their parent didn't like me being around them and stuff and they need their space. So I was like, oh, I'll just stay in my room then and like, you know, do my own thing. And then if either you want to talk to me, you just let me know. That was the decision that I made because again, like I was an altruist at the time. It's kind of stupid to be like, I'll just keep to myself. And if you want me to be around you, then I'll be around you, because that means that I'll only be around if someone wants me to, you know? It's like, and I didn't realize this at the time, that it's so dumb. Like I should be able to be around whoever I want. Like, and if you have a problem with it, you can say something, but for me to preemptively just be like, I'll only be in your presence if you want it. That way I know I'm not going to impede or, hover or harass or whatever. It was like completely, it was disregarding anything that I wanted. You get my point? That's the point of the altruism in that. So that's what I did. I just kept to myself. Meanwhile, they're having secret conversations behind my back where the parent finds it suspicious that I'm keeping to myself. Like, I've never had a guest stay over my place and just like stay in the room the whole time. And I'm like, because the ex-friend was backing them up on that when they knew that we had a private conversation because of what they were telling me. And I'm like, oh, let me stay out of your way. So that was like yet another example of me bringing up something completely contradictory to them. I'm like, you're the one who kept telling me to get out the way. And then I told the parent, remember the first day they literally said, you don't have to follow me wherever I go. You don't have to hover over me. And they were like, oh yeah, that did happen. So like, it was just sabotage from day one. It was so wrong. And they really screwed up a good friendship. So my point is, it's a whole story, and there's just so many things that happened that were just like insane. Like half of my hair got chopped off when I was like over there. It was a lot. And after coming back home from all that, I didn't want to do anything that involved that person anymore. One of the things I was accused of while I was there was that it wasn't worth taking time to work on any of the things I wanted to do, and just making me seem like I'm some incompetent person who was this and that. And at the time, like, I just didn't want to work on that stuff anymore because it did involve them to some degree, but I was doing all the work. I would set everything up and work on everything. They were just barely involved with anything. So I was just like, I'll just do something else. And I just stopped playing games for the most part. I tried to, but I didn't want to anymore because it used to involve them, and I stopped making animations because, again, like I just said, and I just got away from all that. So I don't know what to do going forward. I don't want to, like, I still want to play games. Like, there's games that I do want to play. And if I play it, I want to record it because my spare time is, like, valuable because I have a bunch of stuff that I need to do. So it's like, unless it has to do with me being productive with any online stuff, like whether it's my store or if it's my channel, it needs to be one of those things for now, if it's my free time. So I don't really want to play games right now because, I'd have to make a separate channel for that because I'm separating everything on my channel now that I know what I like to do on a regular. I've like filled it out and I have a better understanding of my channel. Just cutting in real quick to say that the only way I could possibly see myself making a gaming channel this year is if the new Saints Row 5 game came out. That just might make me do it because Saints Row 3 is one of my top 3 favorite games of all time, but that's one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. So it's like, I really, really, really want to play 5. I really was hoping that they would make a 5th one. So yeah, I heard that they are, and it's supposed to be coming out. So like, if it comes out this year, I just might do it. But the reason why is because like, the only way I can justify spending my free time playing a game is if I tell myself it's to record something. If not, then I just won't play it because I'm like, oh, I got other stuff I need to do. So yeah, like, that would be the only reason. I don't know. I just hope they don't bring it out this year. I hope it comes out in 2021, but I don't know. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So yeah, like, if I make a gaming channel, it'll be whenever my art channel and my opinion channel is like more constructive in the sense where like I'm consistently uploading and I have spare time to put up games. Then I'll do that because I'm not trying to like be some YouTube gamer or something where like, because once you do that, you got to play like every new game that comes out. I don't want to do any of that. There's just some games that I like to play and I like to record them because I want to share those type of experiences with people. I like my own videos, and I also kind of want to play with a friend that I have who I really care about a lot, who's not like that at all. But yeah, so I just don't have the time for any of that. So I will not be making a game channel, even though I really liked playing Atomi games back then because they were really stupid. And I really liked playing Phoenotopia, which I want to finish so bad, but like I just need to not work on that right now. But I'm gonna try to start uploading animations again. I'm tied between 2 types of animations right now. I don't know if I want to pursue one or the other. I have these, I think that I'll just work on like a web comic for one of them and then an animation for the other one. I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm stuck between my Candy Love animation still because I have a bunch of unfinished ones, and then there's like this animation I'm thinking of doing about an anime that's pretty popular. I'm still thinking about it, not guaranteeing it, but it's Black Butler, and there's just like, it's like a funny concept of like there's so many unrealistic things in that show, just like most anime, like how they treat people. There's like all this, you know, social status and like standards of what's a respectable human being in society. It's so easy to pick it apart and make fun of it and show the hypocrisy. But yeah, I don't know if I want to work on it or not. So those are some things I'm contemplating, and I'm gonna try to start putting up animations again. But now I'm really getting into digital art. I have stopped drawing for the most part for so long. Like I've forced myself to draw this whole time, and like now I'm starting to get into it again. So that's gonna get in the way a little bit of me putting up animations as often as I used to. I'll see what happens. But the other thing is, I was looking at my computer, like old files that I have, and I forgot how many scripts I wrote out for my animation. I have so many, and they're so funny, and I never made them. I have a few unfinished animations too, because I was gonna put them up, but then this stuff got in the way, so I just stopped doing them. And it just blew my mind how invested I was in making them until that whole incident happened. Like, it just blew my mind, which is why I'm making this video. So moving on to my announcement. So my announcement is that I am opening up an Etsy store to try and figure out that whole thing too, because I've never done it before. And I do make things out of jewelry, I just never sold them online. So I'm gonna start trying to do that, and like I'll put like updates, I guess, on my art channel specifically, but just to show you what some of my stuff looks like, you can look up on the screen if you're not watching. So I make things like this and stuff. And will I make any tutorials on how to make them and put them on the art channel? Eventually, probably, yeah, but not anytime soon, because I don't really have an environment where I can work on it and record. Plus I would probably need a light box at that point to get the proper lighting, or you can't really see what I'm doing. And I would probably need a better camera, because these are tiny little figurines, so you need like really good, like, you know, quality for your cameras. I said that so bad. You need a really good quality camera or whatever to film the little details. So at some point I'll probably start doing tutorials on it, but for now, like, I'll just put updates of what's in the store, and then yeah. But that's my announcement. That's my story. That's the reason why, even though it's so sad, I have animations that some of them are bad, okay? Like, if you look back at my old animations, I didn't know nothing about audio and all that, so you can barely hear my voice in some of them. I don't know why they have majority likes, because they're bad. I like the idea of it. I want to remake them because they're good in the sense where, like, it was a good storyline, but anyway, so, but some of them have like 50K views, 20K views, 10K views, and I'm like, why did I ever stop making these? So you now know the reason. I already knew the reason. I'm gonna try it again, and I just appreciate all the support you all have given me, regardless of the fact that I wasn't continuing them. And go subscribe to my art channel if you want to see this type of stuff, because it's not going to be put up on this channel anymore. So yep, thanks for watching. You can share your thoughts, and I'll see you all next time.